Hey, thanks for clicking on another video of mine. I really appreciate you being here. Today we're going to look at, review, and whetstone sharpen the OKnife Zilla. Now I unboxed this thing probably a little over a month ago and I've been daily carrying it since then. Let's have a look at the unboxing. Me and my girl hanging out here in the truck while the ladies are in a store there, and we're going to check out the new OKnife Zilla, and it looks promising. Let's see. Whoa! That is a big blade. Man, that is a piece of steel. 154 cm. Woo! That is substantial. Man. We'll talk more about it later. I gotta fidget with this thing. I gotta run it for a while. See how I feel about this. So like I said, I've been daily carrying it since then. I like the knife. The knife is built very well. I like the finishes, the grinds. I love the shape. My main qualm is that it's a little too big for me to EDC. It just eats up, like a wide blade like this is a little bit of a nuisance getting in and out of your pocket for me. But that shape, that profile, absolutely love it. The 154 cm, very nice. Did a pretty good job, but we have put this thing through some abuse. So this has been hanging out of my pocket while I've been crawling around on asphalt, up and underneath the truck, welding. I've really put it through the ringer using it as a pry tool. I've worked it hard getting a feel for this new OKnife brand, and it's definitely a great knife. No real problems with the design, the quality, or anything like that. It's more so just the size. That's my biggest issue. Now for the part you're probably even more interesting to see, that is the sharpening, because you guys seem to love when I sharpen anything. And we're just going to look at this blade here. So I'm going to feel this edge, and I just wanted to take you through the process. First off, I need to give this a little cleaning. Hang on. So let's go through the process here. We're deciding we need to sharpen our knife. Now we're doing this because it's not quite as crisp, it's not performing quite as well as it was before. And for this one, look at that. It's always a little bit tricky to show, but I think you can see, yeah, perfectly right there. Look at those couple spots of light on the blade. Those are little chips. Like I said, I've been using this thing as a pry tool. I've needed it to do some hard work. I've really worked this knife, so I want to get those out. Now let's check for overall sharpness elsewhere along the blade. Okay, so we're not bad back here. There's definitely like a nick or a rut I'm catching there somewhere. Watch this. Right there. It hooks. You see that? You can even see evidence of it in the cut. Let's see if it'll repeat. Yeah, it brings up in the same spot each time. So it's still pretty sharp. It's a little crisp. It's not super dull, but we have some chips, some dull spots. So I'm not going to go right on down to a course of stone. We're going to start right on the 1000 Shapton. Okay, let's rinse down our 1000. This is a 600 grit dressing stone. This one is made by Naniwa. Naniwa calls it the Nagura. And I buy my sharpening gear from paulsfinest.com, just in case anyone wants to know. I've heard reports that they don't ship to the US. I'm not 100% positive, but let's give a little rinse. And there, look at that. Beautiful, fresh cutting surface. You know how much I enjoy that. Now, in the case of this blade here, we have a little bit of minor dulling back here on this portion, but the bulk of the chips and nicks are up here near the toe. Now this is a nice deep blade. I'm not going to bring this whole edge back. Now you get to decide this for yourself. Do you want to do always full passes and bring the edge exactly back together? Or do you kind of want to bring that toe up a little bit? That heel needs a little small bit of work, but up here near the toe needs a little bit more work. I usually will opt to work most on the areas that need the work. I don't care about a very, very minor level of profile change here. it's just not that big a deal. It's pretty minuscule. So you can see here now, I've already got to work here, some nice heavy steel removal, but I'm finger here right up on the toe of the knife, the tip, and you see I'm staying right there. I'm not working the blade. None of this has been touched yet. We're just right up this little portion right here, and I'm working that nice and hard, lots of pressure. We're gonna have a look. Looks good. Switch it over. Gonna do the same thing, and we're just gonna work until we can see those chips have pretty much been removed. Then we'll go back to the full length passes so we can have a nice sharp edge consistent all the way along. Okay, now I've worked long enough. Let's inspect that edge. You can see no reflection. I've got a little bit of burr along there, nice crisp edge. But now that we're done there, you can see those couple little dull spots back along here as well. Now we can switch to the full length passes. So I'm going to hold the same formation with my hands, but we're just going to rock that blade in. This is a nice big long swooping blade. This is an enjoyable knife. You do have to do a little more movement than say like a Benchmade 940 that has that long straight edge, you know. This one is not like that. This knife always has to be moving on the stone. One long consistent sweep. And what I'm going for here, this is this knife's first sharpening. So I'm not changing from the factory grind angle. I'm going to assume they've done their homework. They've done a nice job. And I've used this knife for a while, so I know the angle that's on there is suitable. So I'm just going to lay my knife on the stone, tip it up till a shadow disappears under the edge. That's my angle. You can kind of, once you get experience sharpening, you can kind of feel it too. But we're right about there. Right, see that? This is laid flat on the stone. This right here is about their sharpening angle. I can just get my finger under there. And I'm just going to lock that in. I'm going to hold that. And start working the bevel there. And the goal is to remove all of the factory scratches on the edge, because that's pretty evidence there. You can see the little striations from whatever grinder they used at the factory to sharpen this knife. You can see those striations. I want to remove all those, replace it with my own, and that's just about there now. This is some slow abrading steel. Lots of pressure here, working it pretty hard. You can kind of work, you know, little facets there. You don't need to be all full passes, but that will probably give you the most consistent final results. Now notice I can feel my stone performance going down a little bit there now. My stone is getting a little bit dirty. So I'm just going to take that Nagura, give it a little scrub, and look how easy. Look at that. I'm telling you, if you guys have one of these ceramic stones, or any whetstone for that matter, you don't have a Nagura, you are missing out. Yeah, now we have full, that prime velvety texture all over again. Just lovely. Now our stone is clean there now, but we're just at the very last stage, and you guys know how I like to finish, and that is with a nice clean stone, single cutting stroke passes. And usually just one for one, alternating. So what I'll do is I'll find my bevel, and I'll go heel to toe like that. Not too much pressure, a little bit more than the knife's weight. And the knife's weight would just be if you just let the weight of the knife sit on the stone. Pretty self-explanatory. Are we going to just continue? Maybe 10 per side, maybe even a little more. I'm not counting, honestly. You guys might be counting, but I have no idea what I'm at there now. I would guess 10 or 15 I'll stop at. And this is nice. I was thinking something here. If you don't employ the shadow technique, because while you're sharpening, of course, you can't constantly stop and check for light under your edge. You have to kind of, there has to be something more that you have to go on to assume you're holding that right angle while sharpening. You'll notice if you fall a little bit too low, if your angle falls away down this way, your knife will start to skate a little more easily if I do that. And if you come a little too steep, your knife will start to have a little bit too much bite into the stone. You might, if your stone is a little bit softer, it's not common with this one, if your stone is a little bit softer, you might even hook and gouge your knife when you're coming along. It'll hook, and that is a cringy feeling. Let me tell you, that feels so terrible when you do that and you take a little divot out of your stone. It's not like golf where you can put the little divot back in. You're you're left with a stone with a divot, or you have to resurface and take down your stones. It's pretty sad, but that's something that you can watch for, you can feel for while you're doing a lot of movement. If you start to fall down, again, your knife will skate a little too easily. If you start to get a little too steep, your knife will start to dig into the stone. Neither of those things you want. Now the end of the road for this knife today is going to be this beautiful 2000 grit naniwa aotoshi. 2000 grit splash and go stone. Notice the thickness of this, and that is all polishing compound. This is like a homogeneous stone, so right from the top to the bottom is all this material. So obviously this is for someone like me, or most people at home, this is a lifetime stone. You would need to do an awful lot of sharpening to actually wear out a stone like this. Notice I've switched back to back and forth strokes now because I'm putting in work again. I'm not just doing those light finishing strokes. A little bit more pressure. We're not going to spend too much time on this stone, but just enough to get a little bit of a polish because it looks so pretty. And now this is one of those stones where I was just talking about if you go a little too steep and you dig in, this is a stone where it's easy to do that, and you'll carve out a nice little notch out of this stone surface pretty easily. Now thankfully this is also a stone that's easy to resurface. Look at that. A lot easier than that ceramic. I just took the top right off that stone. Beautiful, fresh and clean again. Listen to that silky texture. Just love it. One last quick cleaning, and you guys know the drill. So quick scrub with our dressing stone there. Rinse it down, a nice wet stone. Look at that. Look how that water sits on there. Just beautiful. Now we'll go to those single cutting strokes. Nice light pressure. Oh, this is going to be one pretty edge. This Nanotoshi, if you're looking for a good polishing stone, this is your stone. I know a lot of websites and videos and stuff now say you need 6,000, 8,000. Even some people are talking about, for like pocket knives now, they're using like 30,000 grit Shapton Glass stones. No way. Absolutely not needed. And at that point you're not even really getting any returns, because for EDC type tasks and the steels using EDC knives, that's not offering you anything. It's not going to do anything to peeling your apple or pushing back your cuticles or digging out a splinter. It's not helping you. But this 2000, nice, easy, fast polishing stone, very rewarding stone, and beautiful results. Whew, it is warm here today. And there we have it, the OKnife Zilla. Quick edge check. Not going to bother to drop this one. Now that's what we want right there. This is kind of some silky, glossy, I don't know what kind of paper you'd call it. Maybe like catalog type paper. Have a look at that level of polish there. You can see pretty nice polish. It's not a 6,000 or an 8000 gleaming mirror. But look at that. That's just lovely. Very beautiful, sharp results. So that's it for this video, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here. I have a code down below if you want, maybe you'll get a discount on this one. I'm not sure, but you get an OLite discount anyways with my code. And also, it helps out the channel, helps us grow. Thanks so much. Subscribe if it's your first time here. The OKnife Zilla in 154 cm. I like it. Very cool. A little bit too big for me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.